Well, that's probably going to be the thumbnail. I was
Hello.
making the face. It's great. It's fine. I made it on my driver's license. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's your signature face now. I need to talk about Harpo face. Oh, that's a subject. I keep squirreling away topics because I can't just talk about a painting for 10 minutes solid. I have to veer off on tangents and it's more fun, hopefully, to listen to. I haven't gotten any feedback otherwise, so I keep thinking, oh yeah, there's like I defined elevator person, and someday I'll define like goldfish and Harpo face. Could do Harpo face. Avi was watching Jazza today, and he was carving a bust out of wood, and I was like, oh yep, there's Harpo face. But I was saying, last week Amanda called and she was like, for the first time in 9 months, I'm driving myself nuts and I need to get the fuck out of the house, and no one has even met this baby yet. And I was like, well done on 9 months, and you can totally come here and hug me and I'll hold a baby. Oh my god, he's so cute. He's the cutest damn baby. He's got the big brown blue eyes that all of those kids have had. Like the girls are much older, but he is a fucking baby doll. And I'm like the first person outside of the household who's ever held him. And he did that little, he reached up and then he hugged me, and I was like, goosh, melted on the floor. You own my heart now, you sweet little man. And he got us a handful. That was so cute. Anyway,
Carolyn started doing that like the last week that I was in Paonia. She would do the thing where you're you know when you're holding them and they put their head on you.
Yes, that. Yay, babies. His name is Rowan. Rowan is my bestie now.
I love to hold them. I love to play with them. I love to give them back.
Yeah. I'm super happy that all of mine are closer to moving out than being infants. Oh. But yeah, so
I feel like I had something like to say.
I had something fun to say. I was in my Terry Pratchett book club, and someone mentioned that a joke that I had never spotted before. Have you? Are you familiar with this? Do you remember Thief of Time?
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I haven't read as often, so it's very possible I didn't spot this joke, but go on.
Excellent. There's a bit towards the beginning where Lob Sang falls off a roof. He's a member of the Thieves Guild. He falls off a roof and he stops himself from hitting the ground. So he's hovering in the air, and a history monk is nearby and spots him. He's like, oh, the stance of the coyote. And the person's like, Looney Tunes.
I never caught that.
Looney Tunes reference.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my god, I never spotted it, and I've read it like a few times, and I was like, I thought it was just like a really good name for a, move.
Couldn't even have coyotes on Discworld.
Apparently they do, and they hover in midair until they look down. Yeah.
Nope, don't remember. Got nothing.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about 80s movies, and we couldn't think of any besides, like, Flight of the Navigator or some shit. And after I walked away from our chit-chat, I was like, holy hell, Willow, Princess Bride. These are 80s movies, and Willow is my absolute favorite movie of all time. Hello.
Yeah, we could think of some. I recall distinctly that I made the point that Victoria was made in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. But
it was a movie.
Yes.
It was Clue the movie. It wasn't Victor Victoria. Victor Victoria, I don't think is an 80s movie, but let me check.
79, I think. I think Victor Victoria was 79. I'm going to eat a piece of candy because it's here. I have a sugar addiction. I'd gotten into the habit of eating dessert after lunch. And at some point last week, I was like, I can't be doing that. Like, dessert at the end of the day is totally enough. I should not have sugar in the afternoon. And oh my God, it's been so hard.
I have sugar at all times of the day because I have containers of gummy candy next to my desk. And whenever I complete a work task, I eat a gummy bear.
Nice.
Allegedly. I mean, mostly I just eat gummy bears whenever, but the idea is that it's a reward for completing a task.
Yes.
Also, Victor Victoria was released in 1982.
Oh, I guess it is an 80s movie. It's not really thought of as an 80s movie.
I saw a meme the other day, speaking of movies, where it was the movie, your 4 favorite movies that were released before, I think it was like before 1980 or something. And people were given some weird answers.
4 favorite movies before 1980?
Mm-hmm.
Magic Christian?
Yeah?
I mean, it's a terrible movie, but it's a favorite.
I came up with Some Like It Hot and The Court Jester.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget the other 2 that I came up with, though. They were all, I have a genre of movie that I call disaster bisexual cinema. And they were all bad.
Like natural disasters? Or like this is disastrous in its context of now?
Like this person is a disaster. They are a disaster bisexual. Or I, as a disaster bisexual, have decided that they are.
Okay.
Road to El Dorado, for example, is a classic of the genre.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a list. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
To err is human.
Oh, shit, I don't remember the follow-up line after that.
I don't think there is one.
The bit that I remember is both. Both is good. Which is just, that's as classic lines go. What just happened?
They wish to bask.
Did you think it would end like this? Well, a horse is a surprise. Now I'm finding the list. It started out as gay movies but not sad, and then I realized it was just a list of disaster bisexuals. So it's Ghostbusters, the 2016 version, Birds of Prey, Thor Ragnarok, Charlie's Angels, the 2019 version, Good Omens, Mulan, Victor Victoria, The Long Kiss Goodnight, She-Ra, the new version, and
Connie and Carla?
It's been a long time since I watched it.
They're kind of sort of straight, but they're hetero life mates. It's a good movie up until the last 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes are kind of crap.
I recall that, yeah.
Wow. I should write my headcanon.
If you're wondering why my video is wobbling, it's because my computer is making a noise like a jet engine taking off, and I'm trying to get it to cool down.
The fan in Abby's computer does this, and I found that if I lift up the keyboard and let go, it usually stops, but then I feel terrible because I'm effectively womping on on technology.
I mean, I'm not womping it. I'm just waving it about to try and get it to cool down. It's on a pillow on my lap, which is not ideal. And really shouldn't be, but if it's not, you can't see my face. And not that everyone wouldn't love to see my bisexual unicorn shirt, Exhibit A.
Woo!
But I don't feel like that's really what you want to see while I'm reading Tolkien. If we do that at any point,
do that. I miss my hobbits. I miss my Faramir. He's perfect.
The tagline for this episode is Faramir a Mary Sue? Discuss. Yes.
No, because he always had the powers. It's not like he's given the powers in a montage. Like, everybody who talks about him is like, oh yeah, he's always been wise but kind, gentle but firm, loving but a wise leader of men, and he can master both men and horses.
I mean, sure, but my point is, like, Mary Sue doesn't have to get the powers. They just have to be the specialist and most perfectest that everybody loves.
Oh, in that case, yeah. Faramir is the Mary Sue in that case.
Okay. Speaking of, I think we're at the section where he says, in the morning, I will decide what is best for me to do and for you. Does that sound right?
I don't remember getting to the point. Wait, are we still walking?
No. Yes, I think so. So they just talked about Boromir and how he went to Lothlorien, and then Faramir was like, "Oh, why went you ever to Lorelin Doranan?"
Yeah. What did she say to the woman who dies not?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you not come home with your flags in the morning? And I'm all like, tick-tock.
Pitter-patter. Have you watched any Letterkenny? Have we talked about Letterkenny?
You made me watch one episode of Letterkenny, and it was awesome.
You should watch the rest. There's like 9 seasons, and I thought the most recent season was going to have jumped the shark, and it's hysterical.
Okay, I'll attack it. I am becoming progressively more disappointed in Resident Alien, so I'd like to watch something funny. It's depending too much on cringe humor.
Yeah, Letterkenny's not cringe humor. Like, I very rarely need to like walk out of an episode of Letterkenny, and if it's cringe, I'll walk right out of the room.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't enjoy a Resident Alien. It's very cringy humor.
Yeah, no, Letterkenny is more of the like witty banter, quick kind of back and forth.
Love that shit.
You're really gonna enjoy it. I really recommend it.
Cool.
Anyway, pitter patter is what they say. Short for pitter patter. Let's get at her.
It's so cute and Canadian. Oh, I finally started. So Avi resisted reading any Little House books to himself, but I managed to convince him to let me read them aloud to him. So he's finally going to get some perspective on parents that are perfectly good parents, but beat the crap out of their kids when they misbehave.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how those books hold up. I know there are some parts of them that don't.
Oh my God, Pa is awesome, and he sings a song about an old darky whose head doesn't grow wool like the rest of them do, and I'm like, I'm not singing that word. I'm not singing that word to my child. Like, that's not happening. No.
Yeah. She was.
Well, we haven't even gotten to the bits with the native peoples, which I remember being egregiously racist and like pro-white persons. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's a chunk of history. I'm not going to hold it up to him as, exemplary human behavior, just as a thing that it's worth knowing about.
Put into context. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then he sprang to his feet, he issued some orders, and then he was like, "Now you, Frodo and Samwise, will come with me and my guards," said Faramir.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's where we were. I remember we were at the end of a section, and this is like the only nearby section. I was like, this has to be it.
Yeah, that's totally it.
There was nothing for Frodo to do but to fall in with this request or order. It seemed in any case a wise course for the moment, since this foray of the men of Gondor had made a journey in Ithilien more dangerous than ever. They set out at once, Mablung and Damrod a little ahead, and Faramir with Frodo and Sam behind. Skirting the hither side of the pool where the hobbits had bathed, they crossed the stream, climbed a long bank, and passed into green-shadowed woodlands. My brain was also like, wait, are they going towards where Sam saw the like pile of skulls? Are they going to pass that?
Right.
And passed into green-shadowed woodlands that marched ever downwards and westwards. While they walked as swiftly as the hobbits could go, they talked in hushed voices. I broke off our speech together, said Faramir, not only because time pressed, as Master Samwise had reminded me, but also because we were drawing near to matters that were better not debated openly before many men. It was for that reason that I turned rather to the matter of my brother, let be Isildur's bane. You were not wholly frank with me, Frodo. No, I was Frodo.
Oh,
Done.
terrible.
I told no lies, and of the truth all I could, said Frodo. I do not blame you, said Faramir. You spoke with skill in a hard place, and wisely, it seemed to me. But I learned or guessed more from you than your words said. You were not friendly with Boromir, or you did not part in friendship. You and Master Samwise, too, I guess, have some grievance. Now I loved him dearly, and would gladly avenge his death. Yet I knew him well. Isildur's bane. I would hazard that Isildur's bane lay between you, and was a cause of contention in your company. Thanks, Tolkien. That was fine. That was easy to read. No problem.
Cause of contention in your company?
Mm-hmm. Clearly, it is a mighty heirloom of some sort, and such things do not breed peace among confederates, not if aught may be learned from ancient tales. Do I not hit near the mark? Near, said Frodo, but not in the gold. Hint, hint. There was no contention in our company, though there was doubt. Doubt which way we should take from the Emyn Muil. But be that as it may, ancient tales teach us also the peril of rash words concerning such things as heirlooms. Ah, then it is as I thought. Your trouble was with Boromir alone.
Damn it! Don't draw conclusions!
Also, yes, it is as I thought. The opposite of what I just said. No, you didn't. Whatever.
You're trying to fool me. Trying to be like, oh yes, my theory is blah. No, I said that so that you would say my actual theory.
Yeah, exactly. I suspected all along that this was the case. Oh no, it was actually this. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
that's what I meant.
Suspected. I don't even do that when I'm on the phone with a customer. Like, I suspected all along it was your router. Well, my router's fine. Ah, yes, I mean your browser cache. Definitely.
Oh, it's my browser cache. Aha! The browser cache is what I meant. Said.
I mean, to be honest, it is always the browser cache.
Yeah.
If you're ever having inexplicable trouble with a website, clear your cache and cookies. It will fix it 95% of the time. The other 5% of the time, you're going to need a priest.
Yeah. Customer service cannot help you. No one can help you.
Your trouble was with Boromir alone. He wished this thing brought to Minas Tirith. Alas, it is a crooked fate that seals your lips who saw him last, and holds from me that which I long to know, what was in his heart and thought in his latest hours. Whether he erred or no, of this I am sure. He died well, achieving some good thing. His face was more beautiful even than in life. Is that really like how you tell?
It'd be a real shame if you died on the toilet and your face is all contorted up. Like, nope, you died not achieving a thing.
What if you saved someone from a fire?
his crispy corpse was more beautiful even than
He looked like a beautiful chicken nugget. I'm so sorry, that's terrible.
I'm thinking of the character in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency that's looking at his own corpse, and he's like, he's got a really stupid expression on his face, so he tries to fix it and he makes it worse. And then he tries to strangle it because he's so frustrated. And then it ends up like he loses.
And then the cops are super confused at who was like strangling this guy. Yeah.
Good times.
Let's see. Do. Oh,
His face
but
is so
Frodo, I pressed you hard at first about Isildur's bane. Forgive me. It's always in italics, by the way, and it's really throwing me off. Like, should I be saying it with more emphasis about Isildur's bane?
Isildur's bane.
Isildur's bane. Isildur's ye ein bay.
Oh, yeah.
Ide Anwe Ingray? Anyway.
Don't you mean Wenny?
No? Now I'm not sure.
If anyway were Pig Latin, it would be Wenny. That made sense to someone somewhere. Leave a comment if you know who.
Moving on.
Yes.
How, though?
How is anyone? Okay, so if you're speaking Pig Latin and you say the word anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, yay.
What if anyway was already in Pig Latin?
So it's like two negatives equaling a positive, but it's two words in Pig Latin equaling not that?
It's more like when you have your book translate into English things that were gibberish. Like when your Kindle unnecessarily translates something.
Mm-hmm. So if anyway was actually Wenny, and we've just been saying it in Pig Latin all this time, then would any word that ends in A actually be Pig? So like, is yay actually ya?
Yeah.
Wenny.
Make my d.
What?
Make my d.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
When did it happen? It happened to.
It happened yesterday.
No, it was on Wednesday.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Forgive me. It was unwise in such an hour and place. I had not time for thought. We had had a hard fight, and there was more than enough to fill my mind. But even as I spoke with you, I drew nearer the mark, and so deliberately shot wider. For you must know that much is still preserved of ancient lore among the rulers of the city that is not spread abroad. We of my house are not of the line of Elendil, though the blood of Numenor is in us. For we reckon back our line to Mardil, the good steward, who ruled in the king's stead when he went away to war. And that was King Earnur, last of the line of Anarion, and childless, and he came never back. And the stewards have governed the city since that day, though it was many generations of men ago. And this I remember of Faramir as a boy, when we together learned the tale of our sires and the history of our city, that always it displeased him that his father was not king. How many hundreds of years needs it to make a steward a king if the king returns not? He asked. Few years, maybe, in other places of less royalty, my father answered. In Gondor, 10,000 years would not suffice. Alas, poor Boromir, does that not tell you something of him? It does, said Frodo, yet always he treated Aragorn with honor. I doubt it not, said Faramir. If he were satisfied of Aragorn's claim, as you say, he would greatly reverence him. But the pinch had not yet come, and they had not yet reached Minas Tirith or become rivals in her wars. But I stray. We in the House of Denethor know much ancient lore by long tradition, and there are, moreover, in our treasuries many things preserved, books and tablets writ on withered parchments, yea, and on stone, and on leaves of
stone.
Yea, verily, yea. Sorry, yeah, verily, yeah.
Oh, this is never gonna get old.
Oh, I don't know. And on leaves of silver and of gold, which is like a terrible material to write on. Why did you do that?
Why? But I don't know. So that Faramir could brag on it, I guess.
I guess, but I'm just like, you could, if you had a leaf of gold, you could crumple that in your hand. Easier than paper.
Maybe it's coated onto something like gold leaf.
It would have to be.
Yeah.
In diverse characters. Some none can now read, and for the rest, few ever unlock them. I can read a little in them, for I have had teaching. It was these records that brought the Grey Pilgrim to us. I first saw him when I was a child, and he has been twice or thrice since then. The Grey Pilgrim, said Frodo. Had he a name? Mithrandir we called him in elf fashion, said Faramir, and he was content. Many are my names in many countries, he said. Mithrandir among the elves, Tarkun to the dwarves, Olorin I was in my youth, in the west that is forgotten, in the south, in Canus, in the north, Gandalf.
Have we talked about Olorin?
No.
He's mentioned by name in the Silmarillion. When it talks about the Valaquenta, it goes on to talk about some of the spirits, the Maiar, that live with the Valar, and one of them named Olorin. It's like Varda had a handmaiden named so-and-so, and Olorin was a Maia who learned much of compassion from, I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but like he spent a lot of time in the halls of the dead and the grieving, and he learned about grief and he learned about compassion, and he was really like he focused his studies on kindness and pity, and his name was Olorin. Huh, indeed.
And yet he's such a dick.
He's kind of like snarky. He has been around for 3,000 years. Watching people fuck up. Of course it would make him salty. Anyone would be salty. Like, oh, here's another problem for me to solve. Fucking moron. Okay.
I mean, I can't argue with that. In the north, Gandalf. To the east, I go not. Gandalf, said Frodo. I thought it was he. Gandalf the Grey, dearest of counselors, leader of our company. He was lost in Moria.
Way to tell the fucking news, Frodo. Right? Shit. You might want to sit down for this. Oh no, we're walking through the woods.
You might want to not trip over a log for this. I don't know. Not you.
Your mentor's dead. I mean, shit.
Mithrandir was lost, said Faramir. An evil fate seems to have pursued your fellowship. It is hard indeed to believe that one of so great wisdom and of power, for many wonderful things he did among us, could perish, and so much lore be taken from the world. Are you sure of this, and that he did not just leave you and depart where he would? Alas, yes, said Frodo. I saw him fall into the abyss. I see that there is some great tale of dread in this, said Faramir, which perhaps you may tell me in the evening time. This Mithrandir was, I now guess, more than a lore master, a great mover of the deeds that are done in our time. Had he been among us to consult concerning the hard words of our dream, he could have made them clear to us without need of messenger. Yet maybe he would not have done so, and the journey of Boromir was doomed. Mithrandir never spoke to us of what was to be. Doom, 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 doom. Nor did he reveal his purposes. He got leave of Denethor, how I do not know, to look at the secrets of our treasury, and I learned a little of him when he would teach, and that was seldom.
Yeah.
Ever he would search and would question us above all else concerning the great battle that was fought upon Dagorlad in the beginning of Gondor, when he whom we do not name was overthrown. And he was eager for stories of Isildur, though of him we had less to tell, for nothing certain was ever known among us of his end. Now Faramir's voice sank to a whisper. But this much I learned, or guessed, and I have kept it ever secret in my heart since, that Isildur took somewhat from the hand of the unnamed ere he went away from Gondor, never to be seen among mortal men again. Here, I thought, was the answer to Mithrandir's questioning. But it seemed then a matter that concerned only the seekers after ancient learning, nor, when the riddling words of our dream were debated among us, did I think of Isildur's bane as being this same thing. For Isildur was ambushed and slain by orc arrows, according to the only legend that we knew, and Mithrandir had never told me more. I'm going to have to stop whispering. That's really hard on my voice.
Did good. I applaud the effort.
Thank you. What in truth this thing is, I cannot yet guess, but some heirloom of power and peril it must be, a fell weapon, perchance, devised by the Dark Lord. If it were a thing that gave advantage in battle, I can well believe that Boromir, the proud and fearless, often rash, ever anxious for the victory of Minas Tirith and his own glory therein, might desire such a thing and be allured by it. Alas, that ever he went on that errand. I should have been chosen by my father and the elders, but he put himself forward as being the older and the hardier, both true, and he would not be stayed. But fear no more, I would not take this thing if it lay by the highway. Okay, let's talk about that. That's all I have to say. It's just, of course you wouldn't.
Because you're perfect.
Perfect. Everyone else is corrupted by this thing, even unto their doom. But I would not pick it up if it lay by the highway, because I'm Faramir.
I know too well my own limitations, because I'm Faramir.
I have, like, wisdom and common sense, because I'm Faramir. There's one brain cell in this entire book, and it's in my head, because I'm Faramir.
Problem is, he ain't wrong.
I know. Like, it is 100% true that there is one brain cell in the entire Lord of the Rings, and Faramir has custody of it the entire goddamn time.
The whole time. Fuck. Later on, when Eowyn is like, I don't know who you think you are, and he's like, I think I'm the man you're in love with, and she's like, fuck, you're right. More evidence. Every time I read the bit where he's talking about how I guess that this thing was contention, and I guess this, and I guess that, and I guess I keep thinking of, do you remember in Final Sacrifice where Rousdower makes an assumption and someone is like, I sense that with my hair. My hair is an elaborate network. etc. That's
Well, that's not going away anytime soon. I would not take this thing if it lay by the highway. Not where Minas Tirith falling in ruin, and I alone could save her, so, using the weapon of the Dark Lord, for her good and my glory. No, I do not wish for such triumphs, Frodo, son of Drogo. Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Neither did the council, said Frodo, nor do I. I would have nothing to do with such matters. For myself, said Faramir, I would see the white tree and flower again in the courts of the kings, and the silver crown return, and Minas Tirith in peace, Minas Anor again as of old, full of light, high and fair, beautiful as a queen among other queens, not a mistress of many slaves, nay, not even a kind mistress of willing slaves. More must
No
be.
king shaming, Faramir.
That aspect did not occur to me. Thanks for that. War must be while we defend our lives against a destroyer who would devour all. And I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for his glory. I love only that which they defend, the city of the men of Numenor. And I would have her loved for her memory, her ancientry, her beauty, and her present wisdom. Not feared, save as men may fear the dignity of a man old and wise.
So wait, is your city an old wise man or a beautiful queen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good.
Right, good for it. Gender's sake.
Absolutely.
So fear me not. I do not ask you to tell me more. I do not even ask you to tell me whether I now speak nearer the mark. But if you will trust me, it may be that I can advise you in your present quest, whatever that be. Yes, and even aid you. Frodo made no answer. Almost he yielded to the desire for help and counsel, to tell this grave young man, whose words seemed so wise and fair, all that was in his mind. But something held him back. His heart was heavy with fear and sorrow. If he and Sam were indeed, as seemed likely, all that was now left of the 9 walkers, then he was in sole command of the secret of their errand, and better mistrust undeserved than rash words. And the memory of Boromir, of the dreadful change that the lure of the ring had worked in him, was very present to his mind, when he looked at Faramir and listened to his voice. Unlike they were, and yet also much akin. And on that note, it is 8. I need to eat dinner. And it's so cool. It means balance, doesn't it?
Actually, it means intuition. I'm going to end up shutting his eyes. It's intuition because Amarakium has one use commonly, and that is as the thing inside a smoke detector that can tell that there's smoke in the air like a long time before any other kind can. It is yeah. My words, they are fleeing from my face.
I cannot help you. I am only making this face.
Oh, that face. That's a good face. But yes. Balance was, in fact, Selenium. She's the satyr with the vitiligo who is doing yoga amongst the flowers.
All right. Well, I love you.
I love you. And I hope you have a good week. And
thank you.
Hang on, I'm trying to. Okay, now I'm not blind anymore. Wow. I'll see you on Monday.
Yes, indeed.
Cuidado.
Llamas.